We turn now to Nebraska's largest school district, Omaha Public Schools, with more than 50,000 students, and the lessons learned during COVID. I visited with the Chief Officer of Student and Community Services, Lisa Utterback.
I often ask myself that, like, will we ever go back to the days that used to be, and I don't think we will, because we're all changed.
Change. It's felt in the hallway of the Omaha Public Schools. Lisa Utterback is in charge of attendance, behavior, and well-being of 52,000 students in the OPS district. 5 years post-COVID, Utterback says the heartbreak behind the masks lingers. Remote learning created an unpredicted disconnect.
What was the first indication that this was going to go on and on for our students?
It was brought to my attention that calls to CPS, because we're mandatory reporters, declined significantly. And at that point, we all knew that the abuse and or neglect was not happening. It's just that we were not in a position that we were able to report it.
With that in-person vigilance and connection now cut off, the district took on the enormous job of teaching remotely at all 80-plus schools. Sometimes together, but always distant, as seen in this never-before-made public video shot by OPS. You'll remember visitors and parents were banned from the schools.
How did you pivot to online learning? It took a little bit, right?
You know, absolutely. We as a district did not have one-to-one electronic devices, and so as a direct reflection of what was happening in the community, we were able to work internally and get every student an electronic device.
That led to some absenteeism, right? Just not showing up for the Zoom.
Absolutely. You know, we've faced chronic absenteeism issues in the Omaha Public Schools for quite some time. Our data mirrors what happens nationally. But then, because of the anxiety, the disconnection from students, and depression levels that we believe we were going to see, kids were not wanting to log in and sit. Everyone in this country, myself included, missed that day-to-day connectedness with other people.
It seems COVID solidified the habit to not show up for school, with 4 out of 10 students chronically absent. Passing period chatter became a distant memory.
How are we addressing absenteeism as a community?
The call to action is that attendance matters. We know that when kids are present in school, they are more connected to the school, they are socially, emotionally in a better mental state, and they are in an environment where resources and supports can be provided. If you're a parent or a guardian, we communicate this daily when kids are absent. If your child is struggling with going to school, reach out to the school, ask to set up a meeting with the social worker and counselor. We will do whatever it is we can to help you identify those barriers and put resources in place.
During the pandemic, schools served as critical portals for food pantries, with sanitation a constant, ultimately serving as the epicenter for drive-through social services.
We know that before a child can walk into the walls of the school, their basic needs need to be met. And how we work with our social workers and refer families to outside resources, to providing resources in the school, we know that we have to do that on the front end to create the conditions where a child can be in the seat and be focused on learning.
Grades were the least of concerns for students. Nationwide, public schools as a whole reported 36% of their students were behind grade level before COVID. After the pandemic, 50% had fallen below their grade level.
How are we doing in terms of recovery?
I would say that undoubtedly we are moving in the right direction with academic achievement and attendance. We're not anywhere where we need to be, but we're moving in the right direction.
But to impact those who endured the pandemic for the long run, it'll take real human, caring contact, which is what this lifelong educator says is essential.
A call to action that I would say is get involved with a local mentoring agency under Mentor Nebraska and invest in connecting with a student of ours 1 or 2 days a week. It has a tremendous impact on our children, and we know that all it takes is one adult.
For some kids, that one person is a principal, known only by his initials, CK. He says after the pandemic, students had to learn how to school again, how to show up and engage, and that's still a priority today.
Biology class never sounded so chatty. You're watching a new approach to undoing the fallout from disrupted academics and COVID social distancing, encouraging face-to-face conversations in school.
We're trying to get kids to talk more.
While academics remain the core goal at Bryan High, the way students learn is evolving. Anthony Clark Kasmerick, known as CK to nearly everyone, is the principal here.
You know, that all comes out of the pandemic, right? We become isolated. We saw it in their hoods up. We saw it with their faces down. We saw it with their masks covering their face.
I agree.
Post-pandemic, CK made a bold move.
We removed cell phones from the classrooms to try to help students learn how to talk to each other again, to try to help students learn how to engage academically with one another.
Parking phones in pockets is part of what he calls getting students in school shape again.
It's made a huge difference.
Standout Bryan High senior Devin Hank agrees.
So far, I feel like it's been a good thing for people who have been very not focused because of their distractions.
So you chose osmosis.
CK is a former drama teacher. The education veteran embraces a teaching strategy to encourage engagement at every turn.
We're currently working in the building on a strategy called Talk, Read, Talk, Write.
Something as natural as human interaction is now taught as a skill.
They had to relearn how to sit with students in a room together, how to engage with those students, how to have social relationships.
Hank sees changes in himself post-COVID.
I feel like it made me more introverted because, once again, I was stuck inside for the majority of the time, and all I had to communicate with was social media. And social media isn't the same as talking in real life.
5 years ago, Omaha's principals had to flip to remote learning with zero warning.
It was very abrupt. And it was something that you thought, okay, we're going to do this for a few days, and then it felt like just an extended snow day.
He remembers the mad dash to make remote learning a reality.
We had these Hy-Vee bags that we had put all of the student resources in those bags, and they're lined up in the hallway by grade level.
And while iPad learning served as a stopgap, CK says it's no replacement for in-person learning.
That education is like a utility. It's like gas and water. It's something that the community doesn't realize how basic and how much they need until they don't have it.
He calls school a relationship business and engaging with others essential.
Literacy is reading, writing, listening, speaking. Like that, to be literate in the world requires a student to engage with another student, to engage with a book, to engage with an article, to engage with their own thoughts and their writing.
Still ahead, taking mental health struggles seriously from all ages.
I have diagnosed more depression, more anxiety, more ADHD.
Plus, long COVID patients can feel isolated and not believed. But one program works to change that.
Just all the validation that I guess I needed.